The LA Rams, they're Super Bowl champions. They are fresh off their parade in LA on Wednesday. And yet we got some of these questions coming up as recently as before the Super Bowl, right before the Super Bowl, about Sean McVay's future, about Aaron Donald's future. That one came a little bit out of nowhere. Joining me now from Locked On Rams, Travis Rogers. And Travis, this was a weird couple of days in the future of the Rams, from, hey, these guys might not be back, to, hey, let's run it back at the parade. What do you make of the future of the Rams with those two guys in particular?
Yeah, I think they're two of the three most important people in the entire organization. I didn't really buy into too much of the speculation that Sean McVay wants to go to a TV booth, or that Aaron Donald might be deciding that, okay, I've done everything there is to do in this league. I didn't put a ton of credence in that to begin with, because you saw Sean McVay screaming at the top of his lungs at the parade today, run it back, run it back. That does not sound like somebody to me that wants to go call the Dolphins and the Jets on a Monday night. It sounds like somebody that wants to be in the middle of this whole thing. Aaron Donald is still in the prime of his football career, so it was very nice to hear them both say that they want to run it back, but I wasn't terribly worried that either one of them was going to leave.
Let's talk about the run it back part of this, because Aaron Donald said, hey, we built a super team. If we can have it again, why not run it back? Okay, how realistic is it to actually run this all back, given everything that they have invested this year in this team?
Well, I think they're going to be kind of a typical NFL team. And then at the end of the year, you lose a lot of guys, and a lot of guys move on, and maybe some of their guys are maybe slightly more high profile than some other ones. But I think the core of the team will be back. I think the biggest challenge they have is dealing with the offensive line, and not just losing Andrew Whitworth, who is, he was the one guy at the parade today that did not run it back. He was a little more, he had a foot on the brake the whole time, so he wasn't doing that. I think you got to replace him. Not just that you need a new left tackle. I think Joe Noteboom, a guy they've had in the organization for a while, is more than capable to step in there, but just what he brings to your team as far as Andrew Whitworth goes, the professionalism, the experience, and everything else. They got to rebuild that secondary, because other than Jalen Ramsey, there's a lot of question marks back there. But, when your quarterback, your defensive tackle, your wide receiving group is as good as the Rams are, and you do have a guy like Jalen Ramsey on the defensive side, it's a really good place to start as far as running it back.
Does this team have the flexibility to, you have Odell Beckham Jr., we don't know when he's going to be back. Robert Woods, we don't know when he's going to be back. And you mentioned some of these needs. So to what degree does this team actually have the financial flexibility to do that? Because we know they really don't have the draft resources to say, make a trade or draft someone to fill those needs.
Yeah, they're going to have to get creative. And I think one of the things that the Rams have been very good at under Sean McVay and Les Snead and the entire group is finding ways to get things done. I mean, they gave Todd Gurley all this money, he's gone. They gave Jared Goff all this money, he's gone. They gave Aaron Donald a lot of money. Then Matthew Stafford may want an extension at some point. They've been very, very creative, though, in finding ways to do it. As bad of news as it was that Odell Beckham went down in the Super Bowl, it may work in the Rams' favor in that he's familiar with the Rams. They win, they use him, they know how to use him, and maybe the fact that he's going to be in a rehab situation might work to their advantage. Maybe it's a short-term deal at a little bit of less money because of the injury. Robert Woods is another guy that's under contract. You can bring him back. If it were some other organizations that's a little bit more conscious about trying to not overextend themselves financially, then maybe it might be a little more difficult. But Stan Kroenke has been all in from the moment he came to LA, and I don't expect it to stop.